Hello and welcome along to another episode and a new season from this FM22 One Club story with Hemel Hempstead Town from me, Daniel. We're back today for part 96 and the 12th season is about to get underway. A much more difficult start on paper than we had last season as Manchester City are our visitors today to Kenilworth Road. But next week in our second game of the season, we've got the same fixture we started with last time out. We've had a quieter summer, but the signings we have brought in are incremental improvements in positions, and we've missed out in one position 3 or 4 times. So we're going to reflect on all of our summer transfer work, head into our first game of the season, and see the new tactic we've been training after an experiment late last year. And if you're looking forward to all of that, please do put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. We're not long into a new season in our other Save the Head Coach. You can find that link up in the eye above. Also up there is the football podcast with a big run into the EFL season coming, and of course the Twitch channel for regular live streams, including every Sunday morning from FM22. You can also support the show as a channel member if you wish by clicking the join button below, but a massive thank you for your support as always. This episode will be released just as I'm heading back from the Luton Nottingham Forest game on TV. Fingers crossed we haven't been battered by the form side in the country. But let's get into it because we have got a summer of transfers to get into. And as we mentioned last time out, we're no longer in the game of massively overhauling the squad. What we're trying to do is get rid of a lot of the deadwood that's been here either for a number of years or just doing a backup job in previous seasons. And we've been trying to bring in 1 or 2 players that really stand out. And although there's one position we're yet to fill, and I'll show you some of the targets we've missed out on, I'm generally really pleased with what we've done. If we head over to the transfer screen now, we are still negotiating a few deals. Bernal keeps getting offers, but none yet have reached his release clause, thankfully. In terms of ins, we're looking at a third choice keeper. We have also got one more position we need to target. But if we go through to the history, there's an awful lot to digest. So weirdly, both of our ins fall at the end of the previous season because we did our transfer work early in most positions. But we're going to go through all of the outs first. So we had Adam Bichelle, who we signed a few years ago on a free, didn't quite make it. He's now gone to Motherwell for 400 grand. That's a decent little deal for us. We also loan Will Lancashire out to my beloved club Luton Town. Hopefully in real life we'll have been as successful today as Lancashire has been there so far. I saw him score on his debut. It was a winning goal. And then into this season, there's absolutely loads. Paul Thornhill off to Cardiff for 750 grand. That's the position we haven't yet been able to cover. Grashik, the third choice keeper, we knew he was leaving at the end of his contract. Josh O'Connor did the same and went to Swansea. Made a little contribution for us when he was available. Ian Burrows has gone to Grimsby for 135 grand. Never really developed to the extent we were needing him. Max Taylor, couldn't sell him, so he's gone on loan again. He's going to be out of contract at the end of this year. And to be honest, he's past his prime, but will always be remembered as a good player. The one positive we got this year is that Louis Bennett-Sharif went on loan for most of his wages to Preston, and he is the most overpaid player in our squad, so I was really pleased to get that one done. They're paying 60 or 70% of his wages and a little bit of a fee too. So Louis Bennett-Sharif, we're getting most of the money back, which is really positive. Jason Dolner has gone on loan to Notts County. He is starting to develop, but probably won't make Premier League level. Regardless, we can sell him next summer if he does well. Tommy Howes has gone to Shamrock Rovers. He is improving quite quickly. Again, not sure it'd be Premier League level, doesn't fit our tactic, but could be someone we make a big profit on. Josh Berry goes on loan yet again, this time to Championship Huddersfield. Just not quite at the level. It's unfortunate really. He's good enough for our squad overall, but because at centre-half we've got so many wonder kids, it's just a position that we can't quite get him into. Harry Thornley fits into the same bracket. He's gone on loan to Swansea. Got the best personality, but I just don't think he's going to make it. Losing him for that year and a half where he didn't play at Norwich, where he went on loan to Scotland, ultimately that's going to end up costing him his career at the top level. Tommy Samuels has gone on loan to Preston, another centre-half who we weren't able to sell permanently. Terry Clark has gone on loan to QPR. I thought about keeping him, but a season of key football as an important player is probably better for him than sitting on the bench for us. So we've taken a calculated gamble there. 2 young goalkeepers leave the club as well. Alexander Mead has gone to Barnet. I thought about keeping him as first choice, but similar to Terry Clark, it doesn't benefit him. And then Stuart Hamilton has gone to Dorchester, who have been promoted to the National League South. So plenty of deals out of the club, plenty of squad players on their way, plenty of players out on loan. We're trying very hard to get rid of a lot of the players that would not be considered good enough. And I feel largely we've now done that from the squad. We have managed to get 2 players in. There is a position left back where I haven't been able to get the deal done. But the 2 that we have signed are big improvements for me. And they're young, they're high quality, and they're good value deals. So for 8 million, rising to a possible 11, Dominic Chauvin was the first man to come in. He joined from Inter Milan, which is quite a coup in itself. 20 years of age now, was 19 when he joined. Slovakian international, right back, 6'3", massive in the air, solid physically, solid mentally, and got all the key attributes defensively. Can even whip in across too. He will be the best right back at the club. He's played on loan at Benfica for half a year and played regularly. He's within the wage structure already. He's 3-star ability when he joins us, and he's got another star of potential too. So for me, it was a bit of a no-brainer for the money, and if he improves a little bit, you can see the value he's been given up there. He's someone we could make a profit on and see a real improvement out of, and if we do that, it's a fantastic signing yet again. Again, decent personality, so we've not got to worry about that side of things. He should fit into the group. I just think it's a really good deal. And for a similar price, 8.75 million, we then signed Carlos Torres from America. Now, he is a Mexican international, already got 3 goals in 9 caps for his country. Again, is worth tons more than we bought him for now. 3-star ability, 5-star potential. Brilliant finisher, wonderful striker. He replaces basically the 4th role of Lancashire and Ian Watts, who will play more youth football this season. We're obviously not getting Foyani back either. He scored 1 in 2 at club level. He's 6 foot. He's a great finisher, brilliant running in behind. And if this deal works out, if he learns the language and settles in okay, I think Ricky might be able to go next summer, because I feel like we've got replacements there. And I ideally see him and Ricka as my long-term strike partnership. And if we can get them signed up and to top Premier League level for a combined 12 million quid, then we have pulled off the deal of the century, because most teams would bite your arm off for that. So a brilliant deal. Only 2 signings, it's not great, but the ones we've bought in are big improvements, and that's what I want my focus to be now. We have tried for about 6 left backs, and we missed out on tons of them. That's from decent, solid, experienced players who can be a slight upgrade for Armin, from wonder kids who will be better in the future, from superstars that we've offered 70, 80 grand a week and made them the biggest player at the club. All of them reject us, and all of them for pretty fair reasons. So let me go and show you a selection of them, because I want you to understand that we are trying to sign really well at the moment. So this is the first one and the biggest one we tried to sign. We lost out to Bayern Munich. There were other clubs like AC Milan in for him as well. £8 million release clause at Bologna, having got relegated. And I love the fact that again he was 6'3", was brilliant in the air, solid defensively, could play in a back 3 or as a wing back depending on what we did. He would have been that real step up in class, but it just wasn't able to be. And he'll probably be at Bayern for his career now, because he's a really top class player. So that was the biggest one we missed out on. There were a couple of backups too though, because second up, Glasgow Rangers pipped us to this guy. A good player, 25-year-old Finnish international. He's 5'9", he's not quite the same profile, but you can see physically he's fantastic. He's great on the ball, more of an attacking fullback, but again, someone who could have competed with Armin. For £1.5 million they signed him too. It really frustrates me. I was a little bit worried about his positioning, but it wouldn't have stopped me signing him. And when you compare these guys to Paul Thornhill, who we've let go, and even Albi Armin, who's in our team, it shows the ambition we've got, but we're missing out on these targets. There is one more, though, that I've still got a little bit of hope it may be done, albeit that is starting to dwindle. Let's go and meet him, because that is this guy. 3-star ability, 2-footed wonder kid at Benfica. He is willing to join us, and for a pretty reasonable wage. They want £26 million. I feel like he's got the potential to be great, but he's one of the few I'm not sure we can make a profit on. So depending on how things work out, we might revisit that on deadline day. But as other clubs were getting interested, his wage demands were increasing, and they've not yet gone back down, despite that other interest moving on. So I don't know what will happen with him, whether it will be possible or not, but trying to get a left back in if the right target becomes available is my main aim before the end of the window. We did have a look at a few other players, like that player from Schalke that we looked at last year, who's really high quality. But we've got to save the money for this, because if the right left back comes along, I want to be able to break the bank if we need to. So if we go and have a look at the squad at the moment, it's a little bit more trimmed than last year. We're not going for a big squad. Look, our ambitions are the same. We've got to stay up. And at the moment, I feel we can do that pretty comfortably. And as long as we're in that sort of top half of the bottom half, or not within 6-7 points of relegation at any stage, I think we consider it a good season still. There's a few more of those sort of squad players that we'll have to look at next year. I'm talking about the likes of Ricky J. Jones, maybe Christian Flores in the middle, maybe Josh O'Brien at the back. But for now, we're pretty content with what we've got. I know it's not perfect, but Danilo Jose will be our sub left back for the start of the season. We'll have Ryan Young as the sub right back because no one's come in for him. And he's going to stay involved in the squad for now as a result of that. If he can get some football, I'm sure it will increase his reputation. But everywhere else, we've basically got 2 players per position. We've got the youngster Watts in the squad, who's looking pretty good. The issue is, his potential has dropped quite significantly. Now, I know it's dynamic in FM22, so I'm not going to panic just yet. But I'm starting to think he might be a good player rather than a great one for this team in the future. We've got wonder kids galore at the back, though. We've got a lot to look forward to this year. But unfortunately, German Moreira is suspended for the start of the season. So this City game going to be an awful lot harder. Let's have a look at the media preview to see where everyone's expected to finish. And I think this will show you the progress we've made. Because for the first ever time in the Premier League, we are not expected to finish bottom. We are not the favourites for relegation. Sunderland, who have been promoted, are. Watford and Brighton promoted, expected to finish mid-table, which is weird. There's also the likes of Norwich, Palace and Sheffield United, who were all scrapping in and around us last season. But looking up to the top, Manchester City back up to 3rd. They've signed quite big this summer, and I wonder if that's going to make things more difficult for us. So let's go and get into the first game via the dynamics where you can see everything's great. If you missed the last episode, the end of season review, we know that stadium is now on the way. So let's go and enjoy Kenilworth Road while it's still here. Mariba is one of many I'm sure is going to need to be closed down. We're going to sell out every week. We picked our 11 and this is where the season starts. There will be one debutant in our starting 11. Chauvin will be in at right back. I thought about playing Mayer and then Striker out to right back, but I want to get Striker in his best position. Mayer's still improving. They're 3 brilliant wonder kid centre halves. But I want to take it steady. We've got our little tactic for the end of the game if we need it. We've been training that and we'll have a look in a second. But our starting 11 for today is John Moore in goal. Chauvin and Armin the fullbacks with Hanifan and Striker as centre half. We've got Bernal and Du Panjkovic who's covering for Moreira. And Marco Cordes as the midfield diamond. And then Mario Ricca continuing to improve. Always the best player in training and the perfect lead for a mentoring group. 4-star ability now alongside Charlie McNeil. And soon it will be Torres, who today I'm pretty sure will make his debut off the bench. Let's have a look at that second tactic though. If we are drawing the big games or winning the others, to try and combat that last 15 minutes where we fall apart, where we concede so many late goals in recent years, I've started to train this. It's a tactic we employed towards the end of the final game of the season and it worked really well last time out. So we're going to go for it if we need to here. Just allows us to bring on the third centre half, keep the one up front and keep that shape in midfield. So it's not a big tactical change for the team. They're not learning to play with width. They're not learning to play in a different way. They're just coping with 3 centre halves instead. So hopefully that will work out if we need it. But this is the start of the 3rd Premier League season. Hopefully we can get settled and comfortable at the level. But City on the first day is one hell of a tough test. Well, as we head into the game against Diego Simeone City, full of superstars. Ferran Torres and Phil Foden there. Delap and Gallagher and Ederson still on the bench. Tonali's in the team. Mariba's in the side. And even on the bench, Rafael Leao, Harvey Barnes. They've not really regenerated that squad a huge amount. And it is a little bit aging, a problem we've seen across the board in FM22. They played a 4-2-3-1. They have played 5 at the back before, occasionally 2. As we go into this, let me know where you think we're going to finish this season, what you think of the signings. Will they work out against City? Or will we have to wait a bit longer to see them flourish? The right back's in from the start today. So let's hope our team can produce as we head through the tunnel interview into the first half. Let's make it hostile. Well, 8 minutes on the clock. There's nothing so far, but we're back for a City corner, which Panjkovic heads away. Finds McNeil on the left-hand side. Still leaving 2 up from corners. It's my sort of trait here. And McNeil can get on the counter. Panjkovic up to Cordes. Lovely ball to Ricca. Got a runner off him. I'd say Ricca's the first genuinely top-class player we've had. And he leads to chance there. And Du from 25 yards drills one just over the bar. First chance of their game, first big one anyway. With 15 gone, we've had the only shot on target. Not a bad start at all. As we're back with 6 or 7 minutes to half time, it's actually been a really quiet half, which probably suits us the better. City obviously going to be a great team in possession. The diamond maybe combats them slightly. But if we can keep them quiet till half time, that would be ideal. As Mariba puts it in, this might be the end of that. Giorgio blasts it over the bar. It's a really good chance, and he's not made the most of it. City still yet to hit the target. And they've got a few really tired legs back there. Phil Foden looks shattered as Panjovic wins it to Armin. Could this be a game we come on strong, or will we need to go back to our other tactic? A striker brings the ball out down the right side of the fence to Chauvin on debut. Solid rather than spectacular first half, though he might have an assist here because he's put Mario Ricca in. It's a great save by Miku in a City goal. We finished the half with the best chance of the match so far. And it was the new boy who created it with a lump over the top as Cordes puts his corner into the back stick. And all 6'3" of the new man Chauvin wins the header. It is straight at the keeper. Either side it was a goal. But we've had the better chances so far. 0-0 at the break. We're holding City. And this is the sign of progress. We're competing well with the best sides in the league. We look fitter than an ageing side here in City. But they've still got the quality as they play out from the back. Sandro Tonali goes back to his centre-half more, all the way back to the keeper Miku, but they switch the play quickly. Now they have a chance to counter. Foden down the left. Forced backwards to Raz. Time on the ball. But they're not really in a rush to get forward, are they? The tempo's slow, and that's helping us deal with it. Tonali switches wide. Ferran Torres picks it up. Albi Armin closes down, forces him back again. Kalulu into Moore. It's good possession from City. We'd come to expect that over the years. But is it going to lead to an opportunity? Surely the quality is going to show eventually. As Foden up to Lautaro Martinez. That is absolutely sublime. And just like that, with one pass, Phil Foden might be knackered. He cuts open a whole defence. And we now have to chase the game. 1-0 down. We're going to try and encourage the lads. But that's an absolutely wonderful bit of football. Well, 25 to go. They've got tired legs. We want to keep things fresh. So Panjovic is going to come off for Christian Flores. I'm going to make another sub in 5 more minutes because I want to give McNeil a rest. And I want to bring on Carlos Torres for his debut. And I just wonder whether I gamble on Ricky. Because Ricca has been away on international duty over July. And at the moment, he doesn't look at his best. So I'm going to surprisingly take Ricca off for Ricky J. Jones. It's not something that will happen a lot this year, but it's something I feel we have to try. Let's encourage the lads. The old hero is on, and we've got 5 minutes to save this game as John Moore has the ball at the back. Plays out to striker. Can the old hero still prove why he's a valuable part of this squad? Chauvin comes down the right, had a solid debut. Over the top to Ricky. There's 2 in the middle. Can he find them? It's into Cordes! And Ricky J. Jones provides the assist off the bench. I tell you what, he might not be a star at the start anymore, but he's one hell of a super sub for this side. Cordes rushing into that number 10 role to do the job. And we're into 5 minutes of stoppage time. I was about to change to our tactic, but I'm going to see out the highlight first. You know my superstition. Long ball from City straight to Bernal. It's tempting not to because we do look the stronger now, and we're certainly the fitter. As Torres finds Jones, just wide of the post. We've come on strong here. Really good effort so far from the lads. And we're all over them. I'm not going to make the change. I'm confident as Cordes into Jones. Loses out in the air, but Ndu recycles it. Wide to Cordes, who scored the first. Delivers to Torres, almost the hero. Hanifan left side of the box, still up there. Plays a 1-2 with his centre-half partner Striker. And it's inside to Bernal. Striker again. All the way back to Armin. What a finish this is. We're making City look bang average as Ndu finds Cordes. Just wide of the post. And I think that will be the final chance. 94 minutes gone. And we have given City the fright of their lives. And I know they've got an older squad. I know they're not quite as fit and high quality as they once were. They've not had good seasons recently. But Miku's time wasting in the 95th minute against us. And that tells us all we need to know. Just don't concede a goal now as Delap. If I don't change the tactic and then we concede, I'm going to be so upset. Giorgio puts in Delap. There's Lau in the middle. It's a poor ball though. Armin will deal with it. Big ball downfield. And Torres picks it up. 5 seconds left. Ricky J. Jones. Ndu. One more chance maybe. Torres up. Can't quite win it. But it finishes Hemel Hempstead Town 1. Manchester City 1. And that's not even half the story. Look at the stats. We've dominated the game. City scored their only shot on target. We pasted them the last 10 minutes. We could have nicked it. And we've even levelled out the possession too. I am so pleased with that performance. There are so many encouraging signs. And you know what? I said at the start of this episode, when we sign Torres, is this going to be Ricky's final year? I think he's got a little bit of fight left in him yet somehow. Sets up the equaliser for Marco Cordes. And look at Chauvin as well at right back. Third best player on the pitch. One of only 3 to get into the 7s in rating. It shows we've recruited well. And if Torres follows along that drift, we're going to have a very good year. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. Of course, deadline day and maybe a new left back will be incorporated. But that's a pretty good start, isn't it? Now all we've got to do is better that draw we got on the opening day against Norwich last year. And I'll be really pleased when we come back. 1 point on the board, 39 to go, as many of you say down in the comments. Chauvin and Torres make their debuts. They both play really well. Liverpool draw with Arsenal. There were loads of draws actually in the Premier League. But let's have a look at the schedule for what's coming at the end of the month. Because we will be back, of course, for transfer deadline day, as is customary now in this save. And look at the game just before it. We show a lot of the 6-pointers later in the season, but Liverpool away is the game just before deadline day. And I don't think I can be ignoring that, can I? I've just realised Brighton coming back up. They're the side we beat 7-1 at the start of our first season, aren't they? Hopefully we can get a good result against them. But it's not a friendly start to the season. In our first 7 games, we played both Manchester clubs, Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea. So it places extra importance on the Norwich and Brighton games. But even more so, if we can get past that United game to the October international break and not be in a relegation zone, we could go on one hell of a run over the November and December periods, because there's a lot of winnable home matches in that time. If you're looking forward to finding out how we get on though, and you did enjoy this summer transfer special, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think of the 2 signings we have made, the left backs we missed out on, the state of the squad, and more importantly, that brilliant performance against City. Got the point we deserved, as Ricky got a place in the squad. Certainly looks like it at the moment, doesn't it? If you want to stay up to date and find out how the season goes, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with the head coach tomorrow before this returns for deadline day on Easter Sunday. I hope you can come and join me for that. There's links in the eye above to the Twitch channel and the football podcast. Busy periods to come on both of those, so please do follow us if you haven't already. You'll notice there's lots of shorts from our various Twitch streams from FM22. You'll find them released every evening on this channel. But above my head now, I'll put yesterday's head coach episode, where there is a threat of a crisis, which hasn't happened for a while. And I'll see you here again on Easter Sunday for a massive transfer deadline day with Hemel Hempstead Town.